Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Tonight I'm going to be working up my comic page. I'm going to be doing colors in Krita for fills, basically just filling in all the colors. And then from there I'll do shadows and pretty much wrap this one up. I'm joined tonight by my beautiful wife,
Hello.
Kim. She's
Me?
in the corner back there. But yeah, let's get started. Feel free to ask whatever questions you like if you have any, and I will be sitting here drawing, and Kim will be reading me questions, probably.
Mm-hmm.
She's back there.
I'm hiding in the dark corner.
If I have to like set up my I have to set up my like other computer in order to really efficiently have Kim on camera. I'm running out of USB or Thunderbolt whatever ports on my laptop. That's why, like, if you saw on the last stream, she looked like she was at like a much lower frame rate than me. But she's here.
That's how I look in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I just look less high def.
She looks slow.
Yeah. Infinity says, "What's up, Mr. Delicious?"
Are you trying to out me publicly? It's ridiculous.
I know, you guys don't want to see my face. I'm so tired. Mr. Cocoa Butter?
Yeah, it's my old nickname. No, that was never my nickname.
It's a good nickname.
My nickname was never Mr. Cocoa Butter. Never was, never will be. I gotta look back at some of my old comic pages. I forget the like tail coat on this dude. What colors it was. This is my character and I don't remember anything. Okay. He's already the right color.
Hey, where can I find these tunes?
It's just White Bat Audio on YouTube. Royalty-free stuff. Okay. Let's open this. I guess it is. What color is that? I guess it is this cream color, but okay. That's what happens when you design characters that are too detailed.
You can't remember all the details?
Yeah, I can't remember what every single little piece is. I always miss parts.
Theo says, "Are you excited to be done with this comic, Dave?"
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I don't have any strong feelings about it one way or another, just because at this point I've been doing it for a decent chunk of time. But I'm just like, I'm going to be glad when the prints arrive. And I can look at them and go, okay, cool, now this is real.
Yeah, I agree.
I never really feel like a project is, wrapped until I see that stuff. Otherwise, it still feels like a lingering thing.
If you guys have questions, I'm in the chat, so you can at me, Kimberly.
Yeah, that's
So I can
easier.
catch 'em. Okay.
Okay. I still feel like in some of my panels he doesn't have that color there. Might have to go back and fix that. I guess just see what looks better, or if it looks good with the shadow on top of it, then it'll look a bit more purple. It's kind of throwing me off though. I just have a feeling that I did not do this.
You can't remember doing it?
Yeah. Well, this character isn't on every page in this, and I haven't really drawn him or colored him since like early.
It's true. It's like a lot of just the boy and the witch thing, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mostly.
Arakion says, "Hi, I know it's an annoying question, but what advice do you have for learning anatomy in the form of a roadmap, specifically for semi-realistic comics and illustrations?"
It's mostly just for me specifically. It was a matter of like repetition. Like I had to just really focus on each individual body part and just kind of draw it over and over again. Like I would do general gestures, I would do like broader anatomy, but then when I was being really focused with like a structure of how I was going to do it, I would just break it down into pieces and be like, okay, I'm doing a bunch of arms, I'm doing a bunch of legs, and I just break down all the leg muscles and draw it a bunch from my imagination. And just kind of do that sort of thing as a regular everyday exercise until it started to kind of cement itself in my brain. It takes a lot of time though. It's certainly not easy to do. Anatomy is brutal. There's so much to remember. Especially like, it's one thing to just be able to study it and draw it, whatever, but to do human anatomy from imagination and remember everything about like how it would pose, how all the fingers bend and all the muscles flex, all that sort of thing, or at least like understand how to best imply that that's happening. That stuff's very difficult. It takes a long time, so don't beat yourself up if you're like, struggling for years, honestly. Forever. Because I constantly have issues with that sort of thing.
Johnny Pearson says, "Are the colors so vibrant because they're analogous?" Is that right? Anna. analogous colors combined with black lines and neutral grays? I know it's a very specific question.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the colors stand out more so than like pitch black inks in that way. Like I'm not really trying to get the contrast from the inks, the black and white. I'm mostly trying to get it from the color. That's a good observation, though. I am thinking about that when I'm doing this. I'm not, like there is that, but I'm trying to downplay it a little bit by changing the color and tone of the inks and having the colors be the thing that pops the most. I've just generally always liked that in other people's work, so I just kind of adopted it.
Ganja says, could Dave show what was the thingy about the chrome brush set to 1 or something?
Sure. So if you're using your chrome brush, you go in the top left up here, you see like 3 lines next to your like normal setting and all that, and that just opens up the brush setting. And then you just go to brush size, and this is on like the painterly one, the sketching chrome thin, and reduce the line width to 1 pixel, and that's it. Or I mean the painterly one is sketching chrome large. That's the painterly one, and you change that line width to 1. It's been very helpful for painting. I really like it a lot. Especially for everybody who was talking about how the chrome brush lagged so much. That really stops the lag. Okay, so now I need to go back through my character here and start doing some spot kind of fills and things. I lay in all the colors generally, and then I kind of go in at this stage in Krita, and I just kind of add in some more dimension to them.
Riley Spalding said, those sourdough bagels you posted looked amazing. Been wanting to try and make sourdough starter soon. Was it very difficult to get yours going? It wasn't difficult.
It's incredible, though.
It wasn't difficult to get it started. It was like, I read, I think like 3 or 4 different recipes and kind of took an average of all of them to kind of figure out what works for me. And then I started it, and then I just kind of looked for the consistency on like when I fed it, and then I just feed it every day. And then I think it took 2 weeks before it was ready. I think that was like a big thing that I found when I was like looking through like what to expect, because the other thing is there was one point where it smelled terrible and I like thought I messed it up, and I was already 10 days in. And I'm like, oh, it's not going to be ready for 2 weeks. But then I just fed it, and then yeah, and then it was good. I don't know. I think you have to like read up on a lot of that stuff and like how it should smell and when to expect it's ready and like consistency, because it's not just like a straightforward like you do this measurement and this amount of water. I think that you have to like really learn how active it is, and then you can kind of see like consistency and go off of feel. But I guess it also depends on like your experience with cooking and what that means for you, you know?
It's unbelievable, though.
Like how intuitive it is, you know?
Everything that's come from that sourdough starter that you've made has been ridiculously good.
I made blueberry sourdough scones.
Oh my god.
Lemon blueberry. Suki says, who do y'all got on this Kendrick and Drake beef? Kendrick.
I mean, come on. Kendrick.
Are you really asking us that?
What kind of crazy question is that? Of course, Kendrick.
Yeah. Nicholas says,
What do you like, Shake Shack or McDonald's? Shake Shack.
Shake Shack. Duh. Is Dave going to print his comic script in the back of his comic like some books do?
I don't know. I'll think about it. I haven't really considered that.
You should just do like an overlay with words so people can just look at the pictures without any. You should get a specific print where it has like overlay of just the words, the word bubbles, and then you can like
I didn't know
lift
what you
it,
were saying for a second.
like a clear overlay, right?
It's a cool
like
idea,
a layer.
actually.
And then you just lift it so that you can just look at the art underneath, and then you can put it back on top so you can read it. That's a great idea.
That'd be so expensive.
But
I think every
about
page.
Think about how custom that is. Like how very specific of a project that is.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's a cool idea.
Very unique in like its own way.
It'd have like a vellum over top.
Yeah. Like how cool would that be? For the words. And then you can kind of like flip back and forth and actually just look at the art.
That's like that. We have this kid's book called Ghost Dog, The Last Samurai. No, it's not that. I think it is just called Ghost Dog, right?
What?
Ghost Dog is an old samurai movie where the dude who was who would you know? I mean, well, famous black actor.
Okay.
He was like the King of Scotland or something like that was the movie he was most famous for back in the day.
Okay.
But yeah, Ghost Dog.
Okay.
He was a samurai and he had pigeons on his roof and a samurai sword. And he's big and chubby and he wore all black. It was awesome.
Oh my god, that sounds great.
It was great.
Why were we talking about that?
Well, anyway, I was saying that because Ghost Dog, the book,
Mm-hmm.
has the vellum in the front where it's like the ghost version of the dog goes on top of the other drawing of the dog or vice versa.
Oh.
And so you can like take it
Are
off
you
and
talking
see
about Bone
two
Dog?
Bone Dog.
Okay, I was like, what are you saying? I don't know what this book is.
Well, I figured you'd get there.
Okay, sorry. Bone Dog. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? If they just had the words, because I feel like that's like a little bit of a flex too. If you can like lift a little flap of vellum.
Well, it'd
You
be
know, like, you see
annoying to
fully-
read the comic that way, but
Fully painted.
it's a cool novelty.
So. You should still do it. Maddie says, I haven't forgotten about the challenge reviews. Just saying.
I know.
Dog.
It's just I committed to doing paintovers and now I just need to have nights available again. I have like occasionally I just have nights where I can do that stuff all in a row. But then all my stuff kicked off with Blizzard again and game job and all that, and I just kind of got sucked into the regular meetings again. I haven't forgotten, of course. I was just thinking about it today. I was like, I don't know when I'm doing this.
No, it's honestly, we've just had like so much going on. It's hard. Two little kids keep you very busy. Very busy. Today is actually our oldest 5th birthday.
Yeah.
So.
Axie turned 5.
Mm-hmm. Planning like birthday party and Mother's Day and just life, you know? Just things happening. Just trying to take care of ourselves.
I've been having personal training sessions, and I had another one this morning, and I can't believe like how weak I am. It's absurd. It's honestly shocking to me because like I used to be able to do like 20 pull-ups in a row. Like while we were together.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
In like handstand push-ups and all sorts of stuff. And then I just let myself start to fade. And now I feel like I need to apologize to my personal trainer and just be like, I promise you I'm trying very hard. Like I'm not giving up. I'm not trying to just give up here. I was like, I'm really trying, but man, I am not what I was.
And that's why we're doing it.
Yes, I don't want to be the dad who goes like, yeah, I can play basketball, and then I rip every tendon. And I'm like, but how does this make any sense? I played basketball 20 years ago.
In my day, when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I used to be fast as lightning.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to, well, I am looking forward to getting old when it comes to the fact that I am going to be keeping up with my health. But you definitely can't do everything you want if you don't keep up with that stuff.
I want to be one of those like ripped grandmas. That's my goal eventually. Just to be one of those like super cut grandmas, you know.
Mm-hmm. Stacked.
Chicken Strike said, how many pages is this comic?
It's 23, but the actual book is going to be a lot bigger than that. Because I'm going to put like all the old Starvale stuff in it as like an art book and a comic book.
Jacobo says, I'm fascinated on how you managed to have success in making your own comic in contrast to the industry, which is terribly paid. How do you guys like you and Terry Inc. make money and success in comics?
By keeping it as small as possible. You don't want to involve like everybody in what you're doing. And I think like a lot of people are intimidated by like just the general business side of it, that they never try to do the difficult thing of just making it on your own. And that's really it. Like that's where you get destroyed as far as your, income goes. I mean, it's not like these people are doing a ton of stuff, for you when they're printing the comic. Like it's not that difficult to put on a comic. Why is this not? Where is this layer? This is driving me crazy.
Mosaic said the pages should be laminated so you can write your own dialogue.
Yeah, I like that idea.
The dry erase marker.
Mm-hmm.
Blueberry scones do go hard.
Oh wait, I wasn't done answering that question.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, essentially the way to do it is to take out as many middlemen as possible from your process. And I know that not everybody does this, but I, like Dan and I, we self-publish the whole thing. So it's just us. Whoops. Sorry, I'm trying to fix this weird issue I'm having. I'm trying to figure out why this was so weird. The layout of this layers. Okay. But yeah, like actually printing a book isn't that expensive, depending on how many books you sell. But like generally speaking, you shouldn't be dead broke if your comic's doing well. And if you don't mind doing all the Kickstarter stuff and fulfillment, I mean, like, there are people that will go to other countries to print your book for you. You just get like one person to help you do that. And then outside of that, just get a distributor, just somebody, if you have that much mass to ship, it's like you don't want to have all that stuff at your house. If you have like let's say you sell 6,000 books. It's like you don't want all that just laying around and you shipping that is just devastating. You can, but it's much easier to have people handle a lot of like customer service things for you, and it's just like a percentage cut, and it's not that bad. Yeah, that's how you survive. As soon as you start inviting a bunch of people to take part in it, it's usually like a pretty easy thing that they're doing that you could just hire your own person for who's not like involved in a publisher. Because when you go with a publisher, they take like everything, and it's insane. So one of the things that happened to me early on was this one comic company came to me, and this was apparently like a good deal, where they were just going to pay me like some flat rate fee for me doing my own comic. So it was like X amount of money per page I'd get paid. And then on top of that, if the thing was ever sold for like film rights or anything, they would take 50% of everything. And I was like, for what? Like, you know, like what are you doing? I was like, you're not doing anything. And I know, you know, because I've sold stuff for you know, TV, and I've printed my own comic and done all the logistics stuff and everything. It's not that bad. So yeah, I would just look into that sort of thing if you want to make it as an independent comic artist. Just be proactive and engaged and getting stuff out there on your own. Because if I ever took one of those deals, I would not have made it. I would not have had any sort of success, like with that sort of income. It's like, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. You take that much of it, like, okay.
Christian Butler says, hey Dave, watching your Knuckles tutorial and catching the streams again really has inspired me to get back into trying comics. So just wanted to say thanks, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad that this is a kick in the butt in some way. I'm trying to be real proactive with all this stuff, so I'm glad that it's feeding off to you. I like getting people excited to make stuff. Everybody needs to make things, you know? Like if you have something that you want to make, you gotta make it. You just gotta. The world needs more original things. How did I get the texture for the background? It's just the texture for the background is a brush in Photoshop that I knock around and, you know, lay out all this little painterly kind of washy texture. But yeah, it's just a Photoshop brush from Greg Rutkowski from his like oil brush set. You can download for free on his Gumroad. What?
That's a good question. Aaron Koji says, how's the week so far? How many blank hats does Dave have?
I don't know. I think I have like
7?
Yeah, probably 7. That's actually what I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just guessing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 7.
He tried. He got some like other hats, like printed hats, and it said that it fit like extra large head. It doesn't fit this.
They didn't say that. It just had like a one size fits all like snapback thing,
Oh, one size fits all.
which some of those do fit. But yeah, this one did not. So I was like, whatever.
Back to the old classic.
Mm-hmm.
One for each day of the week.
Yeah.
Probably need to strip all of your hats at some point. And make them and clean them. Because we tried buying new ones for you recently. They were too small. And it was from the same brand. It's the Bart Simpson closet, but with blank hats.
Mm-hmm.
I got my nails done today, and I asked for like a 3D nail art nail for like a little snake, and it looks like a little sperm on my nail. So that's cool.
It's perfect.
It's cute. It has little red eyes.
It's just a wicked sperm.
It's an evil sperm.
One evil sperm nail.
What did I walk in asking for? Like jade moons and evil sperm. I have a jade moon on one of them.
And a wicked mean sperm on the other one.
And a flower on
Watch
another
out.
one.
Rotten seeds.
I mean, it makes sense. Snakes are very phallic. You bring it back home.
Mm-hmm.
Gail says, from watching the Venom drawing process on Patreon, Dave's line drawing was perfect from the start without any reference. Do you have any tips or just practice? Or just practice?
I mean, without reference, it's definitely practice. It's just repetition. And usually what I do is the thing I was talking about earlier, where I just would, study stuff and then do it from imagination. And whatever I did study the day that let me rephrase that. When I did study something, that same day, whatever I was working on that wasn't a study, like that would be that would, like, the study would have been something that would refer to that thing I was working on. So if I was working on doing like an armor plated guy, my study in the morning might be to like render something metallic and see, something metallic and rusty or whatever, and just see how I could get the light to work with that. And then you basically apply that same principle to everything. And that's how I kind of trained myself to draw from imagination. But generally speaking, I was always drawing from imagination as a kid. Like that was always something I wanted to be able to do. I was really into like artists that could just bust out any angle on a character and be like, looks great just from their head. It's like, wow, that's amazing. They never have to shoot photography, any of that extra stuff. I was like, I want to be able to do that. And I also like, like Frank Frazetta, right? If you look at his stuff, it's not like that anatomy is perfect, but it's better than perfect because it's a style. And I'm not doing this like what you're looking at right now on the screen. Like, this isn't perfect anatomy. This isn't like it's weird and kind of, elastic and a little weird, gnarly shapes, all wrinkly, gross. Like, none of these things actually exist. I'm not pulling from anything. There's nothing that like I would take a photo to get this with. Like, this is all from my head. So I can kind of just play with shapes there and just imply that, I know enough about anatomy to be able to, make you think this is good. And that's all I was ever really trying to do, is just get to a point where it was serviceable and that I could, execute these things well enough from my head. But yeah, it takes a long time. None of this stuff is fast. It's just you do it. Like, I always feel weird giving some advice about those things because I always have to keep in context that I've literally been drawing every day for almost definitely for like 20 years, like every day. And then for the past like 17, 18 years, it's been at least like 11 hours a day up until like recently. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Like, it's hard to be like, it's hard to put into context exactly how long it takes. It's just your whole life.
What's your favorite Frazetta painting?
Probably. There's a lot. I don't want to go with a stereotypical one, so I'll go with like a semi-stereotypical one. I think it's Conan. I think it's the one. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. It's the one where he's chained up and there's a giant snake. That's probably my favorite.
Has Dave ever sleep drawn? No. Dave, he does stand-up comedy in his sleep. He does lay-down comedy. And he's completely asleep and doesn't remember telling me jokes.
That's true.
Christian Butler says, if you're okay with sharing, mind if I ask how the two of you met?
Sure. Yeah, we met at a workshop initially back in, well, I was 26, right? 26, I think. I just turned 26.
Yeah, I think so.
And then
you just turned 26, I think.
Yeah. And I met you there, and then I didn't start talking to you until like, I don't know, like months after that, really. And then we like caught up, and eventually by the end of that year we went on our first date.
Yeah, towards the end of that year.
Yeah.
It was Halloween. And then you asked me to be your girlfriend that Christmas. I met your family for Thanksgiving, and then you asked me to be your girlfriend officially around Christmas. And then we celebrated New Year's by looking for an apartment together. And then my birthday, mid-January, we were driving him across the country to live together.
Yeah.
And here we are going on our 11th year, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It went by fast.
You know what they say, though.
Eat shit, scumbag.
Yeah. Kim was a waitress selling hors d'oeuvres. I don't know how to spell that. Oh yeah, that's funny that Maddie always thinks that because I don't give the context of why I was at an art workshop. It's because I went with a friend and I was dating somebody who was also there, and that obviously didn't work out. So, but it was all very friendly when I met Dave at first. Nothing happened until after. Even if it did, I don't care. That was a nothing relationship. So. 11 years. Congrats. Thank you.
Nice. I feel like there needs to be more going on in here.
Yep, 11 years. For 8 years married. Pretty cool.
Where's my... Did I never fill that in? Shit. I have a part of this I didn't fill in. Crap.
Did something happen?
No, I just was... there's like a whole like bubble layer thing here that's not there. I'm not sure what happened to it. I might have accidentally deleted that layer or something.
Is Dave going to lose all these vibrant blues in print?
Not really. Only a little bit. But I've already tested it in CMYK. It looks fine. So I'm definitely not worried. As long as I have enough value here, and I'm not deriving all my value from the blues being vibrant and not vibrant, you know, as long as that's the case, then it'll read just fine. Here it is. Another layer. Okay. My mic's just in the way enough.
Did you hit your head on it?
No, I just keep bumping my pen against it.
I can see this question, but if you have questions and you didn't hear before, just at Kimberly, because I'm reading them in the chat as well. Thank you. Hope this isn't a dumb question, but I wanted to ask, how do you plan to do the lettering? Do you have a rhyme or reason to it?
It's just going to be done by hand. That's really it. I'm going to draw all the word bubbles, write everything out myself. That's about it. I just want the whole book to feel hand done. That's kind of what I'm going for. And my handwriting is good enough where I'm not really worried about it.
Dave is working out. A healthy breakfast, I think it's like 30 grams of protein at least if you're working out. Or is it more than that?
I mean, I try and have more just because I'm supposed to have like 180 grams of protein by the end of the day. Something like that. So I'm having like, eggs, yogurt, Greek yogurt sort of thing. And then if I work out, the like whey protein. Mm-hmm. So getting in a decent amount. And it keeps you full, which is nice. So I'm eating less crap because I'm focused on protein. The only thing I'm not doing super great at is having enough vegetables. I'm trying to be more conscious of it.
I feel like I eat a lot of vegetables. I like eating ramen in the morning because I like putting a ton of veggies in my ramen. And then like usually for my sandwiches for lunch or like anything like that, I'm like stacking it with veggies as well.
Yeah. Well, don't brag about it.
Well, I'm just saying I get all my veggies in, so I don't know how you don't get your veggies in because we live in the same house.
Sorry.
My mom told me that your mom is a... Somebody added me and said, "Hey, Dan." I don't know if you're referring to Dan Warren, but this isn't his stream right now. I know he's been streaming a lot. This is his friend Dave. But if the question is for Dave, it says off topic. But you a fan of the works of John Singer Sargent?
Yeah, of course.
But that question's actually for Dan, so don't answer too much.
My favorite is Ilya Repin. That's my favorite, like, classical artist. Or like realist artist.
Timbo says, I've heard a lot of comic artists live largely off selling their originals. Which odds you can't do for this? What? Sorry.
What?
I just like moved up the chat. Is this something you care about for the future?
No.
Especially because it's...
I don't care. I mean, this is fine. I'm not trying to like... This is going to sound silly. I'm not trying to make a bunch of money. I'm trying to get my ideas out before I'm dead. Because if I did the money part, none of this stuff would get done.
Yeah.
If like that's how I framed it in my head, of like, God, I need to make more money off of this, then yeah, it would take longer to do everything traditionally. And thankfully, this isn't the only thing I'm doing, you know. I have a bunch of other jobs and things that I do. Like I've been doing the season art for Diablo 4, so that's pretty great. It makes me not have to worry about having to take on too much other stuff. And that pays bills.
Kim is just Dan with tits when you think about it. You don't know that. You don't know if I have tits or not. And you don't know whose are bigger. Dan would appreciate that joke. haven't ever seen Kim and Dan in the same room. What is this insinuating?
Yeah, don't set Kim up for more roast jokes.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Because I thought of like 6
Yeah.
as soon as you said
Why?
that, and I
Because
just had to
because
stop.
we can't fit in the same room together? What are you trying to say? And I think that's so rude of you guys.
Yeah, why do you have to make us think of all these things?
Yeah.
All those just race through my head in
Yeah,
like 2
that's so
seconds, and I
rude.
just shut my mind off, so I don't say any of them.
Yeah. Tits only stream. Thanks for streaming, Dawn. Luis says, "Hey Dave, I was thinking of I was thinking of starting a drawing club in my city. I've never been in something alike before, and I was wondering if you ever were in something like that, and how it was."
No, I never did anything like that. I have such a hard time doing art around people. I just like talking to people, so I never worked like that. I imagine it would be good if it was just a regular thing that you did. I could see that being really helpful. You know, the best I can kind of relate to that is like online stuff, which I've definitely done. Being a part of like communities that just draw all the time and have challenges and things. That's kind of just how I came up. I'm really happy with how this is coming out.
That's great.
Once this is all wrapped up, it's going to be so satisfying. Thanks, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Probably gonna wrap it up in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a relatively short stream tonight.
Maddie said, "Is the cover art for this done?"
No, not entirely. I'm actually working with my dude who gets all the materials together for the book prints, and he's sending me some like material ideas right now in the mail, and I'm gonna look through it and see what's kind of possible for interesting like textures and things, and then that'll figure into how the cover is made. Because essentially what I would like to do is make it feel really ancient. Like I want the book itself to feel like it's a found thing, and I don't want to go the straight up leather bound or cloth hardcover. I'm trying to find like a creative sort of in between thing. So hopefully the thing that we have lined up right now is cool. I don't want to, say one thing or another about what it's going to be, because I don't actually know, because I haven't confirmed that it's good. But there's a really really nice texture that he's sending me that's almost like it looks a lot like the backgrounds of these pages, but it's more like metallic-ish, but lots of like grit to it texture. So I kind of want to have that be like a accent thing on the cover in some way. I'm going to play with a few ideas. It's basically going to be probably a mixture of like that type of texture and some kind of like gold leaf thing on the cover, similar to how he did Steve Lichman, but just more detailed. Like I see it in my head. I just need to get the right materials together to make sure it's possible.
Mosaic says, I have an issue with my wrist that prohibits me from doing all the art I want to in a day. I'm too scared to push through it and make it worse. Something that will make me, is that something that will make me unhirable?
Is it like a permanent injury, or is it something that you can do like exercises for or anything? Because I know a lot of people get like wrist injuries doing art for like extended periods of time. I didn't know if it was something like that. Okay.
Does Dave have any interesting stories about unprofessional clients he can talk about?
Unprofessional?
Mm-hmm.
Not ones I haven't talked about before, but I think the one that I've told a couple times that was probably the worst, just in terms of like my experience. I've had some like shitty ones that were unprofessional in some ways, like just the way they gave feedback, or they were like overly rude. But I always just kind of walked away from those clients where I was like, hey, if you're going to talk to me that way and just be like a disrespectful ass, I was like, then I'm gone. Mm-hmm. Later. Find somebody else. I don't need the money that bad. So that's been my general thing. There's a clear difference between like just a client that's very picky and a client that's an ass. So yeah, there's been a handful of those. Not a ton. But I think the worst one that I ever dealt with was White Wolf by like a mile. White Wolf is a RPG company. I don't know if they still exist. But White Wolf, they just hired the worst art director, I guess, because I was reaching out to him and saying like, hey, what's going on? Like, I haven't been paid in like 8 months or something like that. And they were just super late on my payment. And at that time in my career, I was living, check to check, like, and I was doing so many things of artwork for everybody, like constantly, to make ends meet. And I just didn't make enough per piece. And my artwork wasn't good enough to, pull in real money yet. So everything counted. And if I didn't get the money, I was fucked. And essentially, I was fucked with them. And I just had to reach out, and I was like, hey, like, this is ridiculous. Like, my contract didn't say that the money was going to be this late and blah, 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 all this shit. And the guy told me that I was lucky to even have a job and that I should be, like, grateful in some way. And I just was like, what the fuck? I just told him, I was like, eat shit. That's ridiculous. Because at that point, I had to borrow money from friends because my family didn't even have money to give me in any way. So I had to borrow money from people. Shout out to Devin Platts. He let me borrow money from him to make my rent. I'm sure Dan did too. But yeah, that was brutal. I remember being so stressed when that happened. Oh, yeah, that did happen to me with a video game company. Like a pretty big company. And they had owed me money for a long time. And I had to keep hounding them for it. It took so long. And then they had the nerve to ask me if I wanted to do more work in the future. And I was like, no. Like, what? No.
No.
That's crazy.
No.
Hey, remember when we didn't pay you? You want to do more of that?
Did they eventually pay up?
Yeah, they paid up after. I mean, I think they paid up after like 6 months. But that was while we were together.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember that.
I mean, thankfully by that time I wasn't like struggling or anything. It was just kind of annoying.
I remember like asking you multiple times, and you're like, you know what? They still haven't paid me.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to check up on it because I'm like, that's when I started doing all the stuff for you, you know?
Yeah. last bit I'm doing on this is this top panel of the lady. And once I go back into Photoshop, I can adjust all the multiply shadow layers to not be that weird off gray color, which I didn't really want to do.
That red hair character is hot. Which red hair character? The little boy?
Yeah, the hot little boy. You're going to jail.
Yeah, absolutely. Straight to jail, sir.
Is that a sir?
Mm. Have the Procreate people ever talked to you more about the desktop shit?
No, they just saw my tweet and said, sure, we'll put you on the list. And I went, hey, thank you. So we'll see.
I think I saw somebody ask if you couldn't do art. I don't know where that question went. If you couldn't do art, what would you do? It was something like that.
If I couldn't do art, what would I do?
Mm-hmm.
I'd write books. I'd make music. I'd make movies. Yeah, lots of stuff like that.
Dave and I would be like a producer, singer couple, songwriter couple.
We'd be called Elbow Mac.
So stupid. Yukova says, last question, how can you know you're at a skill level to make indie comics a viable career?
It's if it's, an interesting story. That's about it. You don't need to be super skilled to do an indie comic. Look at indie comics. Like I shared that One Punch Man thing on Twitter just to show, they started having like a grasp of storytelling stuff, but the art wasn't there completely. But you just get going and you do what you can with what you have right now, and then get better as you go.
Mosaic said, what would you say the biggest influences are on the comic, both visually and writing?
Writing, I have less of an influence than the actual style of it. Writing is just basically, I don't know. It's just me. Like I just talk about the sort of themes that are in this comic, like all the time. Like it's something that like I think about a lot. So yeah, it's not like, obviously when I'm drawing Garfield, it's not that type of writing, and it's not the type of writing that's in like Steve. I just like the more, I don't know, like ethereal, like weird sci-fi stuff, which is kind of what this is, and Starvale is in general. It's just kind of like strange. I like the mixture of like natural and you know, like mechanical kind of high sci-fi space opera stuff, but more in the Hayao Miyazaki way or something like that, like French comics and that sort of thing. But then when it comes to the style of the actual drawing, that's more akin to like Arthur Rackham, and I like the old Windsor McKay Little Nemo books, that type of look in terms of composition, and just sort of like how whimsical that stuff is.
Which would be Elbow and which would be Mac?
I'd be Elbow.
Cute. Would you be the one singing?
We'd both sing.
If you didn't do art, Gonda says Dave would be a TikTok influencer going under the name of Beef Bone Mania.
Absolutely. Yeah, and everything would be for Jesus. Lifting beef bones with chains around my neck for Jesus. Like, I don't think Jesus wants you to do any of this.
Maddie says that she misses the fuck you manga with hot b-ball players.
Yeah, that actually like wrote a decent amount of that with Dan. We were coming up with all sorts of stupid ideas for that. Mm-hmm. But then it's just get these other written projects out of the way first. Can't go from having like 10 ideas on the back burner to jumping into Fuck You, the basketball manga. I gotta earn that. I gotta earn that Fuck You basketball comic. Can't take the easy way out.
Maddie said, I need a poster with all those blackbirds, guys. You did too, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't think they ever released the big one that I did last. I wonder what that's about.
Dan told me, you guys. Did Dan tell just you? That says Dan told me that you guys almost worked with Nelly. Nope, Willie Nelson. No, Nelly Wilson. Did you?
Almost worked with Willie Nelson?
I guess so.
I do not remember that at all.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, did Dan just tell you this? Dave, you should run an alternate version of this comic where every character quips like a Marvel character.
Oh my god, I'd rather die.
He's right behind me, isn't he? Type dialogue.
Just the least funny.
So funny.
The least funny thing in the world.
That's actually really funny.
That type of humor is just anti-comedy.
Just to
It's
be
so
like
bad.
the like most poorly written comic and be so beautiful.
I mean,
he's
that
right behind me, isn't he? And then it's like this beautiful drawing.
that would be funny. I feel like that's what people might expect from me without like knowing me, because I think like anytime an artist writes something for like a comic, it's, you know, stereotypically it's not going to be like incredible, because most people don't do both of those things. But thankfully I've had at least like somewhat decent amount of experience writing stuff where it's not going to be horrible. I hope. It'll be fine, is all I'm saying.
Chicken Strike said that we were talking about Aqua Teen Hunger Force on his stream and he brought it up, Willie Nelson.
I'd have to really know what Dan was talking about. I mean, maybe we did. I have no idea.
Mosaic said, I think I need to go on an artist delve. I had never seen Arthur Rackham's work before now.
Yeah, it's always good to see where people's influences come from and all. It's just gonna broaden everything for you. Okay. There we go. That's gonna be it for this stream. Thanks for thanks for hanging out. I actually made a decent amount of progress during this stream. Now all I need to really do is edit some stuff in Photoshop, bump up the colors, soft light, maybe some overlay layers. Yeah, lots of color adjustment though, because the colors are way off on this one versus the other ones. But anyway, love to you all. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you next Thursday, unless I have some time before then. Same time, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And as if you want to hop onto the Patreon, link below. $5, years of content.
Access to Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you. I'll see you all.